It feels quite odd without any LOL esports such as the LCS and the LEC this week and into the indefinite future. So we're going to have to be covering some older games, and as such we're bringing to you the new El Clasico of the LEC between G2 Esports and Fnatic. Now, I might as well reveal right now during this intro that tomorrow's LCS Anarchy analysis will be a Week 7 game, and let's just say it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a team picking up their first loss. Need I say any more? But anyway, let's jump into this rather bizarre turn of events and game for you guys, starting with Champion Select. It's ban time! We're going to start with Syndra, Senna and Karthus being removed off the board by Fnatic. Obviously Syndra is a big flex pick on G2's side as Perks and Caps can play it, considering they're both technically mid laners. Senna, very strong champion. I do believe that half of G2's wins that Caps has played is on that Senna, as well as the Aphelios on G2's ban side. Caps has like 40% win rate on it. Karthus obviously is a preferred G2 jungler. Obviously it's their creme de crop AP jungler. They prefer it over the Gragas and the Talia. So removing that from the board is big boy priority. As for G2's ban on standard ban on red side, Pantheon obviously is the global ulting champion that can get around, do a lot of work. Played in 3 different positions, 4 technically, if you class the jungle. And yeah, it's a good champion ban. So we have our first round of picks here, and immediately we see a Gragas being picked up here by Fnatic. Obviously a massive AP jungler that has a lot of disrupting fights. Obviously you're kind of looking for them picks as well as engage with this champion, so it kind of telegraphs what you aim to play. As such, the response from G2 is to take a very safe bot laner in the Ezreal, who can obviously use his E to get out of position, dodge out of casks, as well as use the poke that he has to sustain away from any sort of engage from the Gragas. As for their second champion pickup, it's going to be an Olaf, a very good early game jungler who wants to push the map, get a lot of camps early and quick, get an XP advantage and be an absolute bully. Very nice pick there, and in response we do see a Rakan and Set pickup from Fnatic. Rakan obviously is another engage tool for the Fnatic team. You can combine it well with the cask from Gragas. In a sense, you can either W him up and then the cask comes in, or wherever the cask goes, you go to wherever the body that's being cast back goes. And the Set obviously is the premier top laner at the moment. He has a lot of tankiness, obviously more disrupt alongside that Gragas. You can showtime in, face break a load of people and then kill them all with a true damage haymaker that's very hard to deal with. And lastly in this pick phase, we do see a Yuumi obviously going alongside that Ezreal that was picked earlier. It's a very nice champion. You obviously have them prowling projectiles that do a lot of poke, combining with the Mystic stocks shots. You've obviously got a lot of damage on that side and very hard to gank. And as such, that means that the Gragas will probably not be prioritizing the bot side map and instead be focusing towards a top or mid side. Now, our last set of bans here, we see Aatrox and Kled hitting the bench on Fnatic's side, obviously top lane targets as they've already locked in their set. And G2 banning out Trist and Xayah, aiming at the bot side, removing safe matchups into the Ezreal, kind of forcing an MF or Kaiser sort of pickups by the Fnatic boys. As such, I do like these bans. Obviously, you want to play to your strong side map. Obviously, with a set, you've kind of set yourself up, if you pardon the pun, for a very strong top lane. And G2 obviously having the Yuumi Ezreal the harassment they can provide throughout the entire game, you've technically got the stronger bot side, so you're going to be playing towards that. So obviously the bans are targeted toward the side that you want to be the strongest. I do not have any issue with them. Kled is a bit meh. I wouldn't have minded, say, a Camille or a champion like Camille banned by Fnatic to go up, because the side of G2 does have quite a high amount of AD damage, and you want an assassin in that team to obviously kill off any Fnatic player, considering the fact that they've got 3 quite bulky champions picked already, and as such should be aiming to ban out something that can just perforate that tank stat. So we get to the very juicy part of this draft, where we see a Janna being picked up first by G2 here, which obviously is going in that top side. Wunder has been bringing out the Sona, the Soraka, and now a Janna. All 3 support champions into that top lane, and it's very hard to deal with if you're a set, because obviously you want to be looking to just push, get as much CS as possible, whereas this Janna doesn't care about CS. She's just going to hit you with W's and Q's and autos, and you can't do much because she has the range as well as a shield that she can just put on herself, and she's just going to get gold more and more by just hitting you and punishing you. That's how she wants to play. And obviously when we get into the latter part of the game, combined with the Yuumi, that's a lot of heals on the G2 side. You make the Tempest come up, Eye of the Storm, you're just going to be healing everyone up, as well as the Yuumi Zoomies providing so much health, targets health. It's going to be hard for Fnatic to get onto it. As such, we do see a Kaiser to kind of help with the burst out of a Janna. Obviously, if you land a plasma stack onto the Janna, you can just Killer Instinct onto her and try and burst her out of the fight that way. That being said, you do have to deal with the damage that's going to be coming out from the Akali that is picked up here by G2. Obviously, I'm ignoring the Yasuo for now. We can discuss him in a minute. But Akali obviously is a high burst AP mage in that mid lane, going to be piloted by Perks. A very nice champion to say the least, and one that's going to be quite hard to deal with. Obviously, the changes to the ultimate as well as the energy pool is quite hard to deal with if you're an Akali, but when you're piloting it, or the pilot is Perks, you expect a lot of good here. Now, I ignored the Yasuo, and the Yasuo is actually a really nice pick here. Obviously, you look at the G2 side, Ezreal has poke, Olaf has poke, Yuumi has poke, Janna has poke. You just put up a Wimwall, kinda hard for G2 to get onto you then, if all their poke is just being blocked out, and it's a very nice damage champion. Obviously, you can combine well with the Gragas, with the Set, and the Rakan. With their abilities, you can get a very nice ultimate onto multiple members, alongside your Steel Tempest knocking up targets. It's very nice, this draft by Fnatic, and it is very team fight heavy, whereas G2's kind of a bit more pokey, as well as having a decent team fight. Obviously the heals should sustain and allow them to disengage if Fnatic get a bit too rowdy. But that's going to be it for the draft. Let's jump into the game. Now this team fight takes place with all 5 members of Fnatic hiding in the river brushes either side of mid lane. And from this, Set notices Akali roaming down to bot lane to push in the minions to the second tier turret. Set lets her head down to that bot side and then notices Ezreal walking down mid lane alone and away from his team. This is Fnatic's time to strike as Set appears behind Ezreal and showstoppers him immediately away from every team member. Now here's the pretty cool part of this. Ezreal activates his QSS and Yuumi activates her Lost Chapter, allowing the stunning of the Set as Ezreal arcane shifts away. As Yuumi's Lost Chapter starts, Killer Instinct is popped by the Kaiser, turning it into an even 2v2 fight. Ez is now forced to flash out, and with this, on literally a quarter HP, it takes him about 3 to 4 seconds to fully heal himself and re-engage the team fight. With Fnatic's ults depleted, Olaf decides to pop his Ragnarok and starts bullying Yasuo away, allowing the Ezreal to get back towards his team. Rakan now begins looking for an engage, and he charms the Ezreal and misses his W, as well as a Steel Tempest missing, not giving the Yasuo any engage onto the Ezreal at all. Now, with the Rakan isolated, he's kind of sentenced to death as he's point blank in front of an Ezreal who's able to just Mystic Shot and empowered Q him down to the death, giving the fight advantage over to G2. Looking for a taste of blood, Akali dives headfirst over the Raptor Camp wall into the Gragas body slam. This condenses the Fnatic 3 that are there into this sort of clump, which allows the Ezreal now to just fire a true shot barrage into them, hitting 2 of them and narrowly missing the Kaiser. Gragas body slams back into the low health Akali, looking to execute her off, making it an even 1-for-1 teamfight trade. However, what they didn't account for was the Janna heals coming through. The General and the Yuumi Zoomies allow a perfectly executed amount of healing to pop the Gragas and give the teamfight to G2 even more convincingly, as they're now able to chase down 3 more members on the Fnatic side, and the only member to escape is the Yasuo. Fnatic now are looking down the barrel of a smoking gun as G2 are able to push into the Fnatic base and then pick up a pretty quick and easy win after a very, very slow, I guess would be the best way to put it, early game for themselves. So let's break down the entire game as a whole here. Overall, this game was Fnatic's to lose. G2 picked one of their weirder comps. Obviously, they're taking 2 supports into this game. You kind of know who is going to carry for G2. It's either going to be Akali or Ezreal, and then this Olaf is there to be a nuisance in the mid game. And as such, Fnatic just had to play around these time slots in the game for G2. They need to survive early game, where G2 had everything to lose in that part of the game. Just survive, don't give over any kills to the Janna or to the Olaf, or even to the Akali or Ezreal, which they managed to do. They were able to control the objectives. They got the first Drake, they got the first turret, they got the second turret and the third. They controlled Rift, they controlled quite a bit of the game through the early game, and that's where things started ticking in G2's head. Okay, how do we get back into the game? And if Fnatic played it smart and didn't go for the Baron, then it was quite easy for them to just sustain out through the rest of the game, get a team fight, pick off these squishy members like the Janna and the Ezreal. If you could get either of them, that's pretty much a 1 team fight. You can then go to Baron, take it, and then be able to push and win the game more traditionally, instead of rushing Baron and throwing the game over to G2. Because Jankos is not going to miss a 50-50 smite. He is good at them, and it's a reason why he is considered the MVP of last split in the LEC. So yeah, you have to deal with such a strong G2 team, and as such, once the Baron goes over to them, that's a whole bunch of gold into G2's pockets. Granted, it doesn't benefit a support too much, but when it's a Janna whose goal is just to provide shields and healing, it doesn't matter. It's still more power to the team, and when you've got Poke coming out of an Ezreal and a Yuumi, it's just going to be hard for you to kill them, considering they're just going to be bursting you out of the fight and the rest of the game, like what happened to Hillisan if he got caught out. And he did get caught out, and that gave an easier time for G2 to push, get turret, win game, push, get to Nexus turrets, win game. And that is why G2 won this game so dominantly in the end, is because they managed to turn around a misplay from Fnatic, and Fnatic just could not get anything done to end it. And I'll put it politely, Fnatic were fractions off winning this game when we saw the set narrowly miss his facebreaker. But this game could have gone to either team, and it luckily went to G2. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new around here if you want to, and I will see you guys tomorrow or Tuesday for the next Anarchy analysis, where we'll be breaking down an LCS Week 7 game. Peace out.